The soft hum of a summer breeze carried through the classroom as he stared out the window, lost in thought. His seat by the wall gave him a perfect view of the trees swaying gently outside, their freedom a stark contrast to the strange feeling gnawing at his chest. He glanced back at the rows of desks around him, where laughter and chatter filled the room, but none of it felt real. It wasn't the noise that bothered him, it was her. The girl who once captured his every thought now sat just a few seats away, her laughter ringing out like bells. She hadn't changed, yet something inside him had. What happens when a dream ends, but the heart still lingers? He had been chasing her for as long as he could remember. Her smile, her warmth, the way she lit up every space she entered, it had been everything to him. But recently something shifted. Each step he took toward her felt heavier, like the closer he got, the more unreachable she became. And so one day, he stopped. It wasn't a dramatic decision or a moment of epiphany. It was subtle, like a thread slipping from his grasp. For the first time, he allowed himself to step back, to watch her from afar without the weight of his emotions dictating his every move. But how do you let go of a dream when it's all you've ever known? Life without his constant pursuit felt strange at first, like walking a familiar path, but noticing all the things he'd missed before. He started to focus on other parts of his life, his friends, his studies, even the small joys of everyday moments. But she noticed. At first, her reaction was subtle. A glance in his direction when she thought he wasn't looking, a hesitation in her voice when she addressed him. But as the days passed, her curiosity grew more evident. Why was he pulling away? The tables had turned, and for the first time, she was the one asking questions. Their interactions grew awkward, filled with silences that carried more weight than words ever could. He wasn't cold or distant, he was just different. She found herself missing the boy who once showered her with attention, the one who wore his heart on his sleeve without a second thought. One afternoon, as they crossed paths in the hallway, she stopped him. "Hey, are you avoiding me?" Her question hung in the air, more of a statement than anything else. He hesitated, unsure of how to respond. How do you explain that you're not avoiding someone but rather rediscovering yourself? The days that followed were filled with a strange tension between them. It wasn't hostility. It was something deeper, more complex. She began seeking him out, asking for his help with small things, sitting closer to him in class, even initiating conversations she once would have brushed off. And yet, he remained guarded. His heart, once an open book, now felt like a puzzle she couldn't quite piece together. For the first time, she saw him not as the boy who adored her, but as someone with his own dreams, fears, and insecurities. What do you do when the person you thought you knew becomes a mystery all over again? One quiet evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, they found themselves alone on the rooftop of the school. The air was thick with unspoken words, both of them waiting for the other to break the silence. Finally, she turned to him and asked, "Why did you stop chasing me?" The question was simple, but its weight was immeasurable. He looked at her, searching for the right words. "I realized something," he began. "I was chasing an idea of you, not the real you, and in doing that, I forgot who I was." His honesty left her speechless. For the first time, she saw the depth of his feelings, the pain, the growth, and the quiet strength it took to let go. But was this the end of their story, or the start of something new? From that moment, something shifted between them. Their dynamic was no longer defined by one-sided affection or unspoken expectations. Instead, it became something more balanced, more real. They began spending more time together, not as the dreamer and his muse, but as two people trying to understand each other. But with every step forward, new questions emerged. Were they building a friendship, or was there still something more lingering beneath the surface? Could they move past the roles they had played for so long, or were they doomed to repeat the same patterns? Every fleeting glance and every word carried a tension that neither of them could ignore. As the school festival approached, their classmates buzzed with excitement, but for the two of them it felt like the start of something much bigger. Each stolen moment hinted at a connection, still waiting to be discovered. But would they take the leap, or would fear and hesitation hold them back? Their story is far from over, and the answers lie just beyond the horizon. What do you think will happen next? Don't miss the next chapter of this emotional journey. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.